Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, so today let's talk about Burna Boy's new album, Twice as Tall. This just got released, and I've been listening to it a few times, and yeah, I've got a few thoughts I'd like to divulge on this particular collection of songs that Burna Boy has unleashed onto the world. But before I do that, let me just go over my background, just have an idea of where I'm coming from, and in relation to my opinion and why think this and stuff. So I was born in the UK. I grew up in the UK. However, my family is from Nigeria. My parents were born there, they grew up there, they came over here, and we were born here. But for those of you who are second generation Nigerian immigrants, or maybe even second generation immigrants in general, you probably might relate to this in a sense that, just because you were born in the UK and grew up in the UK, you still kind of grew up in Nigeria, right? That's how that works. That's just kind of how that works. Wherever your family's from, you kind of grew up there. That's how that works. Because, like, in fact, I had a comedian say this as well. I can't remember the name of the comedian's name, but it's like you go to school, it's England. You go to work, it's England. But you come home, yeah, it's Nigeria. And that's just how it is. It's Nigerian food, it's Nigerian music, it's speaking the language. In our case, it's Europe. I don't speak Yoruba fluently. I know a few words. I can understand it basically, not as well as I probably should, but it is what it is. But that's how it is. You're very much inside the house. It's Nigeria. And yeah, Yoruba is the language that is spoken on this particular album as well. So it was cool to hear that in a song that's being released outside of Nigeria. I mean, I don't want to say too much because I guess I'm not hearing all the artists. And I know there's been a few artists over the years who have from Nigeria who have come out of the Nigerian sphere and done fairly well outside of that. So Burna Boy's not the first, but it's cool. At least for me, it's not something I hear very often. So it is cool to hear that in music that's being released to the world, being produced or executive produced by P. Diddy, I believe, as well. Of course, featuring Stormzy, Chris Martin, Naughty by Nature's on this album, which was really cool. Yusundo. So there's a few artists on this. So it's really cool to see that being mixed with Yoruba and Nigerian culture. And another thing I should probably mention as well. So in relation to Burna Boy specifically, he's been around quite a while now, since about 2012, as I read. Now, I didn't really know about Burna Boy until maybe, I think about 2019, so last year. And that's when I started well, I was probably driving a bit more from before, but I was listening to the radio more during this time. And, shout out to Radio 1 Extra. But they'll play like... Dave Location featuring Burna Boy, Georgia Smith, Be Honest featuring Burna Boy. So that's when I started hearing about Burna Boy, even though I know he's been around since long before that. He's been doing his things, and this is like his fifth album now, I think. So yeah, he's been around quite a while. He's not a new artist, but well, not that new anyway. I did hear that apparently doesn't he kicks people out of his concerts if you haven't been rocking him for a while. So I'll probably get kicked out one of his concerts if that's the case. But with that said, though, I did feel like this album was very much, and especially the first half of it was very much for the fans, for the people who've been rocking with him from, day, people who've been there from the beginning. It did feel like not say that if you only just hearing him now, you won't get anything from it. I don't think that's the case. But I do feel like if you have been rocking with him from day one, that first part of the album, I feel like that's very much for, the fans, for those fans, the people who've been there. Because it did feel very kind of like, look, this is where I am now, being the whole kind of twice as tall metaphor as well. That's how it kind of seemed to me, as that, all that, the growth of an artist. And if you've seen that growth, if you've been with him from his first album till now, you've watched that growth. And I feel like that first part of the album, especially that first song, Level Up, I feel like that's very much for the fans. I say the second half of the album is pretty much the free for all. Everybody's welcome. I mean, everybody's welcome everywhere, of course, but it did feel like that's a bit more for everyone. And but overall, I did feel like the album it was very much just a really cool, nice vibe to it. And I did really appreciate the mix of music and cultures in there, and in particular just going from English to Yoruba, and it very seamlessly, and it didn't feel forced or like just something that he's doing to try and be cool. It did just feel very natural. And I imagine that it just I imagine, I don't want to say too much because I don't know the guy, but I imagine that's not too far from how maybe he speaks normally, just in terms of, because from when I visited Nigeria, and even just growing up in Nigeria practically, one of the things I know is that people generally do that. You kind of speak Yoruba a little bit. That you go into English and go back to Yoruba and you go back to English and it kind of gets mixed up into this kind of its own language almost. There was that as well. A kind of pidgin English gets spoken in there as well. So that's another thing that again I don't hear very much in music being released outside of Nigeria. Like I can go back and listen to stuff like King. I mean, I grew up on King Sunny Ade in my house. That's that's what we listened to as a kid, King Sunny Ade, and that was all just straight. Like you get like the tiniest little bits of English in there, but it was pretty much straight Yoruba. Whereas this is a bit more of a mix. So that was a really cool thing that I thought. But yeah, I mean overall though, I just thought it was a really cool album, just a really cool sound and a really cool vibe. I just think it's something that you could just listen to, maybe while driving or just chilling out to. It's very much that kind of this chill, just enjoying music, listening to music vibe, and there are also important messages in there as well. So it's kind of like not like in your face kind of message, but very much there is there, and you recognize that it's there, and you recognize that he is talking about in some of these songs, especially with like the monsters you made, where it gets a bit more serious. But overall, yeah, just the album just I feel it's worth checking out, and I think whether you listen to this style of music or another style of music, I just think it's something that everybody can appreciate. Anybody who appreciates just music and artistry, I think you'd get something from this, even if it's not the type of thing that you normally listen to. So I feel like you don't need to, rather than getting caught up in that, oh, it's not this type of music, oh, it's not that type of music. That's irrelevant. It's just good music from an artist who I feel has put like a lot of passion and soul into this project. So yeah, worth checking out for anybody really. For me, I'll say the standout tracks. I'll say Naughty by Nature, really featuring Naughty by Nature, mainly because it does have that kind of old school feel to it, and that's I'm old man. What can I say? But yeah, definitely, Monsters You Made is probably the one that's maybe the most one with the most deeper message, at least one of the most obvious deeper message, I'd say. And then Real Life featuring Stormzy's another cool. Stormzy's singing on this one as well, actually. Which I mean, he's sung before, I know that, but he's like no, like usually like you hear him sing and he might rap a little. No, he's just singing on this one. So okay, all right, cool. That's what it is. But yeah, worth checking out. I mean, whatever streaming platform you have, check it out on that, or buy the CD. Why not? But people should be buying CDs and still buy physical media. But anyway, that's a discussion for another video. Let me know what you thought of the album if you listened to it. Let me know what you think of Burna Boy. Like I say, I'm pretty new to Burna Boy, so let me know if there's anything else I should be checking out. If there's anything that you'd recommend. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the minute. So guys, until whenever, if ever. Peace out, y'all.